In this brief video here, I'm going to discuss how you could run a help session using Blackboard Collaborate. Maybe you want to run a help session for an exam in the evening and you want students from multiple sections to be able to attend it virtually. And then also maybe you want to have this session available to the students in multiple sections after it's been created. So first off, to do this, there are several ways you could go about doing it. You could use just the general course room, or maybe because it's a specific help session, maybe you want to actually create a session. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to create a help session. So I'm just going to call this help session. And then I'm going to set the start date for right now so that I can get into it. You can check if you wanted it to have no end to it. So if you wanted to use this room for multiple help sessions throughout the semester, you can do that. You can also choose repeat session. You can also switch how much time a student can get into before session. Now, if you say no end for the session, once it begins, students will be able to leave and join at any point in time. Another thing you might want to look into is session settings here. This will allow students to record downloads, which I sometimes like to allow students to record to download the recordings. I personally do not like anonymous chat messages, but maybe with the course you're teaching, that might make sense to do. And there are some other options as well. The other thing you can do is you can change the default role for the attendee as either participant, presenter, or moderator. You really want to only ever possibly change that to presenter, and that would be if you're wanting to maybe run a help session where they're practicing giving PowerPoint presentations, just presentations in general. Because if you have the default role of them as presenters, they will be able to share their screens and upload a PowerPoint. Moderators can actually then make other changes. So typically you would not want your students to be a moderator. You only want yourself being a moderator. So we're going to go back now here and scroll down and click Create Session. Now when I create the session, there is a phone number here that we can use to dial in with a PIN number. That's a good information to have that you can distribute to students in case for some reason they suddenly have internet connectivity issues. They can dial that number in, enter that PIN in, and at least still hear the audio. They won't be able to see any of the cameras or any of the presentations, but they'll still at least be able to hear the audio. And again, since I'm wanting to allow guests to do this, I would have this guest access, and I'm going to allow these to be as a participant. And then I'm going to click on Save. And once you click on Save, there will be this little link that appears here. So this guest link is what I would copy, and then I would copy this, and I just do Control-C to copy, or right-click and do copy. And then I would send this out either in an announcement or an email to all of my sections saying, okay, here is the link to the help session. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click Save on that again. And now the help session's in progress. I'm going to go ahead and join the help session. I'm going to go ahead and start my recording just like I would any other time. I will go ahead and share my audio. So my audio will now be in the recording. I don't have a camera hooked up to this particular computer right now. And so I'm going to go ahead and do maybe share some content. And maybe let's share an application. Let's see, what do I have even open here? I'll share the exciting calculator. So you can see, my lovely arithmetic skills aren't always, something that I want to just rely on my mental computations. So I'm sharing a screen, doing some discussion, talking. However you're going to run your help session, maybe you're going to use one of the Wacom tablets, maybe you're going to use one of the in-classroom cameras. Obviously, you can run the help session however you want, but in addition, if you want to, while you're in the help session, and this is something that if you've used Blackboard Collaborate before, you're used to this, you could create different breakout groups as well for them to work on maybe problems in a breakout group during a session. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording because I don't want to make this a very long recording because I'm just trying to show you how you could have access. Now, what we've just demonstrated is how we could provide access to students who are either attending live face-to-face, because they'd be seeing this face-to-face, or students attending remotely. So again, what I'm trying to emphasize here, I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm actually going to leave the room here. Skip. And I'm going to come back here, is that if you're teaching multiple sections of a course and you're wanting to run a help session for all of those sections, create this so that it has guest access, or you can just use the course room, but I was creating a separate help session link. And then once you save it, there will be this guest link here that you can do. And I mean, it's got a lot of gobbledygook in it. So that's why I like to just copy and paste it as opposed to trying to literally copy it down, write it by hand or something like that. But this link you need to email to all of your students or post it in an announcement in Blackboard so that students have access to this link when they are going to join the help session. All right, so now let's see here. How do we then get it so that all students can view the recording? Now, some of you may have tried to do this before, and you've noticed that when you're trying to then have this video be accessed by all the sections, you run into a problem. Because the video that we made, that very short video, I'm going to go here and look at my recordings. Hopefully it's up here by now. Yep, here's my help session recording. This video, the issue is this video is only viewable in this Blackboard site. So this is only visible to students who would be in, now this is of course an old one, in my 2019 Fall CPE 4600. That help session recording is only visible to those students. And that creates a problem if you're wanting all of your students to have visibility to this. Now, there may be other ways to go about doing this, but the workaround to this that I have used is I'm going to go ahead and I think I might get my zoom in here a little bit too much here. Let me go back to my recordings. Okay, there we go. I click on the name here. My screen got zoomed in a little weird here. It's still zoomed in weird, but the key thing here is that there are, if I go to help session, recording 1, and I go all the way over here, there's these recording options. Now, even if you didn't have the download option turned on, that's for your students to be able to download. You would still be able to download this video. So I'm going to download the video, and now there is an MP4 file that I've downloaded onto my computer that contains the video. And you're probably not hearing any audio right now on the recording. I am. And the reason you're not hearing any audio is because I did not share my computer audio with you when making this recording. But I promise you the audio that I spoke during this video is still present there. So I've got this video. Now, of course, we didn't really do anything in this video, so there was nothing really. Oh, actually, we did share the calculator there at some point, right? So it's the video from the help session. But now that I have that video, what I can do is, and yes, it takes a tiny bit of work, a little bit of tiny bit of time, I can go into a different course, and I don't want to pick a course that I'm teaching here. Let's go to a course that was in the spring that I taught. And I could go into build content, and we could put it, you could do it as an item, but I could do it as a video here, and I could say, help session, and then I could browse my computer for the video, and I just have mine set up so that I have the most recent things here. But you would have to figure out wherever you restored it. So I have my Collaborate recording right there. And then I am going to click on submit. Now, depending on the size of the video, it might take a second or two to upload. But now if I scroll down, I can see this help session video has now been embedded in the other Blackboard site. And just to emphasize that this is the video, I went ahead and fast forwarded to where the calculator is. So a little bit of steps there, but it absolutely is possible to do one help session for multiple sections of a course, and have it be recorded, and then have all of your sections have access to that recording. So hopefully this is helpful to you.